This meeting is being recorded. What's up, everybody? This is a great another episode of Mission Mementos podcast. I got the number one speaker in the world, Mr. Dr. Abraham. Dr. Marck Abraham. I'm so sorry. I'm so energetic from all this past week that I've been going through and stuff like that, that I had to definitely make sure that I get it right. What's up, Dr. Marck? How you doing today?
What's up, Shay? How you feeling? You look
Good.
like you feeling amazing. You feeling great. I love it. I love the energy. I love what you putting out in the world. I'm so proud of you.
I appreciate it. I mean, the growth, man. I mean, me and Dr. Marck met 2 years ago when he was did my Man in a Mission Summit, mutual friend. Shout out to Shamari James. I'm gonna get him on the podcast very soon. And he said, yo, reach out to Dr. Marck. I've been following him ever since. And we got to get into a little bit like what's changed over the 2 years because a lot has changed from you no longer being a principal, you traveling, you speaking, and there's a reason why you're the number one speaker in the world. So let's talk about that before we get really dive in. And of course, let the audience know who you are too.
First of all, if you don't know who I am, this is Dr. Marck Abraham, the president and CEO of MEA Consulting Services LLC, one of the fastest growing consulting companies in the country. And you are now on the line with the number one speaker in the world. I am so excited to be here. What has changed? A lot has changed. I'm no longer a principal. I'm now the president of my own consulting company. I travel around the country speaking and motivating teachers and leaders and coaching school leaders and coaching teachers and really creating a success model for individuals around the world. I'm also the author of a best-selling book, What Success Looks Like, Increase in High School Graduation Rates Among Males of Color. This is a Buffalo special. So if you're watching from Buffalo, this is something for Buffalo to be proud of. We put Buffalo on the map on this one. So that's what I do in a nutshell. That's who I am, or that's the work I'm doing. I'm over here in Detroit, Michigan right now, coaching some school leaders.
Mm.
I've been gone from Buffalo for the last 2 weeks.
Ooh.
Be 3 weeks coming up next week. I went from Atlanta, Miami to New York City to Detroit, back to New York City on Wednesday, all the way to Friday. So we're just trying to do what we can do to change the world, one school, one individual at a time. And I have it's not a podcast, but it's definitely something on YouTube that I go live. I give an inspirational message every single day to
5 a.m.,
people for
right?
free.
Yeah, it's like
5
5 a.m.
a.m. You
Yes,
know
he's
what it is.
consistent with it. I've been seeing him sometimes. Sometimes when I get up early or I do it overnight with my side hustle, I be seeing him like live, Dr. Marck Abraham, live, Dr. Marck Abraham. So he be getting it,
Got you.
like real talk, and he be speaking. I've definitely been able to jump on a few times, and it's been moving to me when I need that umph and that drive and stuff like that. So I'm really proud of you and everything of what you have done. Um, what made you want to take that leap though? Like you was doing good in Mac and stuff like that. Mac McKinley High School, that was a school that he was last the principal at. And what made you leave? Because a lot of people like, yo, you was at your highest high and you got like graduation rate, you was doing this and the third and stuff like that. What made you like, okay, it's time to move forward? I mean, you was already it kind honestly looking at it now, it kind of looked like you was going to make your exit because you had like rarely principals unless they really love what they do. Because I had ran into a few principals that they wrote book, like I know there's one principal that I ran into. He's in I think Delaware area or Philadelphia, and he loves what he does, and he got like 10 books out, got the apparel and everything, but he can't walk away. And he's making 100K figures on just his side, but he still won't live his
Mhm.
principle. So what made you leave?
Really, it's impact and purpose, right? So I tell anybody that your purpose, if you're gonna leave your job, let purpose be the thing that drives you to leave. So for me, I wanted to make a bigger impact in the world. You know, as a principal, I was fortunate enough to make an impact on 1,200 kids and over 110 adults. But I said, hey, listen, I've had success at every level, and I was a local champion inside. And I
Mm,
said, I want to be a state champion, and then a national champion, and then an
mm,
international champion. So I couldn't do that from the seat of the principal. I said, I want to go bigger and better, because then my impact is more. Now I'm able to impact over just in 1 year alone. I'm impacting over 15, 20,000 kids just in one leap of
mm,
faith. Right. So, and now I'm coaching. I think I'm coaching now up to 15 principals and another 25 assistant principals, and working with superintendents around the country. So now my impact and my reach, and then my book is going all over the country. So I had a success model that I created at McKinley, and I researched and said, this is the secret sauce. So I said, I want to do more. I don't want to just sit in the seat of I got to do more, Shay. You know what I mean?
right,
So
right,
that
right, right,
was the
right.
key. I wanted to get out of the seat and then be free, so I can fly and be able to go around the world and do this work and touch more people and touch more students and touch more hearts, so that they can start to have success in every area of their life. So what made me leave was my faith and hope to say, I want to do more for the world. I want to give more love and more positivity to the world. So that's what made me jump out the seat.
Man, I'm so close with you because I'm ready to be in schools. I'm gonna definitely need your guidance, your prayers, and stuff like that. Because I'm close. I said this is the year. I'm tweaking a few more things, and I'm ready. I'm ready to make that leap. And this is the I made the leap back in 2017, but I had no purpose. I had no why. I didn't know what I wanted to do. Now you see me out here doing speaking. You know, you see me doing little by little speaking engagements. You see me creating my own events, and my book is coming out in quarter 2. So I definitely can relate. When once you know what your purpose is, you can't move in silence. You can't keep it covered up. You have to want to impact, and it comes back to like what my shirt says right now, and what my slogan is. My mission is bigger than me, which means that we got to flip the me into we, and we got to impact and touch and give gems and drop bombs to as many people as possible, because that's how we can pour into, and that's how we can impact this world by doing so. So with that being said, let's get a little fun with it. 2022, what is your word that keeps you going and want to impact and everything? I have 2 words, which is exposure and consistency. What's your 1 or 2 words or your slogan that keeps you going and gets you up every single day?
Focus and discipline.
Mm,
Focus and discipline. I say it again, focus and discipline. That's the 2 words I have for the year. When your focus is clear, your discipline is easy. And really, the key is your discipline is not, and I talked about this today in today's live, is not about so much disciplining your behavior, it's disciplining your focus. Is keeping your mind set on the thing that you are set out to accomplish, and then everything else will line up. That makes sense to you? So I
mm,
have to have my focus. And as long as my focus is clear, the discipline that I need to have, because so many people try to get into the discipline of, oh, I got to wake up early, or I got to stop doing this, or I got to go to the gym. No, 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 no. The problem is when you are trying to do behaviors more than you're doing the actual internal work, you will default to your normal behaviors because you didn't do the internal work. But when your focus is clear and you're clear on where you're going, your discipline will line up, but your discipline needs to be there to keep you on focus. That makes so my 2 words is focus and discipline. Clear focus, your discipline is easy, but your discipline is there to keep you focused. I hope that made sense to you.
Oh man, that was a sermon right there, to be honest, because I definitely get it, because you got to have it aligned with what you want to do, and I know firsthand, if I'm not focused with my mission, and I don't get up and do the work even when I don't feel like sometimes I'm just like dragging and everything. And with me now, I gotta basically adjust, since I'm done with 75 hard, with a new focus of not repeating so many of my bad habits or moderating my vices. Like I'm able to eat what I want to eat. I was like kind of beating myself up, but then I'm like, you know what? You did 75 days. So if you want to take a week off of working out, you can do so. I'm not saying I'm going to do that, but this has been a past few busy days for me. And it's one thing just basically hanging in a towel and quitting, but getting that momentum back is going to come back to me, because the fact is my focus is and drive is to make a commitment for my health and make sure that I put that work in each and every single day, from drinking water, from setting up meetings, to even prioritizing. If I don't work out 2 times a day, at least committing that 45-minute workout, whether I'm just going out to take a quick walk, no matter rain, sleet, setting a show. That is going to show my work ethic and get back going. Because Denzel Washington said it best. He said, if you fall 7 times, get back up that eighth, that ninth, that 10th, and it doesn't matter. And we as individuals got to understand that we're going to make mistakes, we're going to fall, but the difference between the greats and the non-greats is the ones that stay falling and the ones that actually get back up and keep on getting up and doing the necessary work to keep on going and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So like, what, being gone, I know you say you've been on the road and stuff like that, being gone and stuff like that and everything. What is the big change? Like, how are your kids adjusting? How are your family adjusting? Definitely got to have some type of support system. Why are you doing what you're doing? Like, how has it impacted your family and stuff like that?
Yeah, that's a great question. You know, um, I when I'm on the road, two things I would say: you got to take care of your health. If you decide to get into the work that I'm doing and being on the road and living out of a suitcase, you got to work out, because if you don't work out, your immune system and your body won't be able to handle all of the travel. So you got to make sure that your immune system is good, and you got to take your vitamins and get enough sleep. And this is why that discipline is so important. This is why that focus has to be so important, right? So you have to make sure that you take care of yourself and eat the right foods and drink the right enough water, just so that you can stay replenished. Again, I'm up every day at 4 a.m. I'm
Mm.
going live at 5 a.m. and I'm going all the way to 10, 11, 12. I'm counseling and coaching and speaking and doing all these different things while still having to take care of my family. My kids are, they're 13, 12, and 7 now. I think by the time this comes out, they'll be 14, 12, and 7. So what I try to do is, when I'm not on the road, I was married twice, and have two exes, and shout out to my kids' mothers, because they do a great job holding me down while I'm on the road. So when I am home and I am around, I'll spend as much time with my children as possible. So say I'm in the town for 10 days, I'll just keep them for the whole 10 days, or keep them as much, I got teenagers now, so I keep them as much as they will allow me to keep them. At 7, 8, my son, he don't care. He rolling wherever daddy want to roll. With my daughters, they like, I got basketball practice, I got this, I got that, daddy, I'm busy, that type of stuff. So I like, the other day I came in, the other day what happened was I was on the road for 2 weeks. I was in Atlanta, Miami, and then New York City. I came in for one day, which was Saturday. I called my kids and said, "Hey, y'all want to do lunch?" My daughter said, "Well, we doing each other's hair." I picked my son up, hung out at my ex-wife's house, and just hung out on their bed and had conversations with them. Did a podcast at 2:30. Took my son out for lunch at 3:30. Dropped him back off, and then the next day, I drove out to Detroit. So that's how things are adjusting.
I mean, you definitely putting yourself on a map and collab. That's what I said. Like, one of the things that definitely my coach recommended me, and I'm gonna definitely get back to, is collaborations. So, what can you advise somebody that wants to, a starting entrepreneur and stuff like that, and they need to collaborate more, but they're either, like the notion, like, oh, if I collaborate with this person, they're gonna take my audience, or if I collaborate too much, then I'm gonna lose myself. So what advice would you give to somebody that wants to collaborate more but doesn't know where to start, or how it can affect and how it can actually impact, but in a benefit way instead of a negative way?
Yeah, I think that people have value, right? Like, so you collaboration is important. I think it's twofold, right? Like, so I collaborate on a lot of things. I collaborate on contracts. I collaborate on real estate deals. I'm always collaborating, because I think that you can go further together than you could do by yourself.
Mm.
Um, but I will say to a person, don't try to how do I say this? Don't try to not establish yourself though,
Mm,
right? Like don't like create a wave by yourself. And then as you collaborate with people, bring value to the relationship, where you're because if you're worried about they're gonna take your fans or they're gonna take your network or whatever the case may be, that then you're insecure about your purpose. Right. I'm never worried, and I share so many people's things and I always big up everybody because I'm never worried about people taking my sales or taking because they can't take it because what's for you is going to be for you. No one
mm,
can take what's for you. So it's collaboration is good, but I will also say create your own wave. Create your
mm,
own wave for you. And then so when you collaborate with people, you're coming into the table with your own following, with your own back end, with your own energy. So now you're bringing value to the relationship and
mm,
then collaborate with people that brings value also. Don't collaborate with people that's not going to bring no value to the space that you're trying to move in. But be your own wave. And then I will say this: don't mimic or try to copy people. Be your authentic self. And if you don't know who you are, spend time before you turn on that camera or turn on or go out to do anything. Figure out who you are as a person, because your authentic self is who people want to hear. They don't want to hear you being like Dr. Abraham or being like Shay or being like our brother Dr. Kirkwood. They don't want those people. Those people are really who they are. Be you. And
mm,
if you don't know you, sit down and be quiet and figure out you. Before you open up your mouth, have a message, have content, have value that you want to bring to the industry. Don't just open up a camera just because you trying to be like somebody else.
mm. That's definitely true. You definitely hit the nail on the head of being yourself and knowing who you are. Like it took me years, and stuff like that. I was dabbling, going to all these different type of events and stuff like that. And I remember my hairstylist, who's actually one of my entrepreneur friends too, and she said, "Shay, what about you? Like you going to support this person, you're sharing this person, but what about you? Because you seem like you're lost in the interim, like you're there and you got the spirit of being an entrepreneur, but what are you? Who are you?" And I had to basically really sit down and evaluate. I had to do some internal work with my mental health. And I got that under control and things started coming together. Now I have content, like, I mean, I have content for days. I mean, I can schedule a whole week out, or I can not schedule no event, no collaborations with people, and I'm still fine. I think that this collaboration right now is definitely, you got to keep the momentum going and you got to balance it out. So there's going to be some times where some weeks I might do two collaboration and the rest of it's going to be just all me of content and stuff. And then there's going to be sometimes I'm going fire, whether I'm, if like a prime example, the next two things I'm going to be doing big time is the 5K race that I got approved for. So if you're in town, definitely would love for you to be in the house and stuff like that in our home front. And then the Man on a Mission, I got to bring that back. Definitely would love for you to come back if your schedules permit. And I think I saw you have a conference coming up. I mean, I was gonna wait to the end, but you have your own private event that's coming up soon.
Yeah, so
Or
I got two things. I got a virtual event that's coming up on March 26th, this Saturday, which this won't air by the time that will come out, but you can always purchase the replay. Teaching people how to be consultants and get into that entrepreneur space, really walking people down. How do you get your LLC? How you get your EIN number? What are the steps you got to actually do? And listen to somebody who's actually doing it. How do you create your own six-figure consulting company? How do
mm,
you because I like I was telling people, I don't no nobody is employing Dr. Abraham. Right. I got to go out and get it myself. So how do you do that? And how do you bring enough value to the world where people want to fly you out and put you up in hotels and things like that so that you can actually make impact. And then the second one is the Success Conference. That's going to be amazing. That's going to be in August. I think August 16, 17. We're going to be at the rooftop. It's going to be a movie. We're going to have a conference there. You definitely want to register for that. I think tickets are only going to be like $120, something like that. And
I'm gonna
it's
mark my
2 day
calendar.
conference.
I'm gonna mark my calendar. And where's it gonna be located at?
The rooftop, 500 Pearl. Signed
Oh, it's gonna be in
contract.
Buffalo. It's gonna be back at home in Buffalo. Okay, okay. Yeah,
The
so
first one.
that's gonna be on your website?
It's gonna be on the website. It's gonna be on my Facebook page. It's gonna be shared everywhere. It's the Success Family. It's the thing that we've been doing every morning. It's just culminating into a conference where we're just giving people straight gas on how to have success, like straight fire. We're gonna bring in some guest speakers. So it's gonna definitely be a movie. Definitely be something you want to participate in.
Oh, I'm there. I'm marking my calendar, 16th through the 17th, you said?
Yeah, I
August
think it's a
16th.
Wednesday and Thursday. Yep, it's a Wednesday, Thursday, right in the middle of the week. Come and get this energy. Come and get
With
these.
it.
Yeah, we're gonna have a rooftop party and everything. It's gonna be lit. It's definitely
Okay,
gonna be something you
okay,
want.
okay. I'm with it. I'm with it and everything. So, one of the segments that I do, because I definitely don't want to take up too much more of Dr. Abraham's time and stuff like that. One of his favorite segments is hashtag Shay Suggestions, where I get blindsided. The actual guests that I actually have them come on, I have them create two questions that they, like they obviously you do your research before somebody actually gets on a lot. Like, I've done like Dr. Abraham's been following me for 2 years, so there's got to be something that he possibly can say, yo, like what I'm curious what he wants to ask me. So this is the time for hashtag Shay Suggestions. Then we're gonna close out, have let people know where they can follow you, how to get connected with you. So Dr. Abraham, tell people what's the first question you always wanted to ask me? Like so
Um, what made you decide that you want to be an entrepreneur?
Growing up, I saw my dad was a firefighter. My mom went to the Navy for 20 years. Then she went to another 20 years as a store clerk. And I just saw their busy schedule. Like, they did the best they could with trying to be active with what they could attend and stuff like that. But I just it just never gravitated to me to have that work life. And even that work life balance, I just always felt that I was the abnormal kid out of me and my twin brother and then my older brother. I always felt like I was just a different breed. And that's when I started like seeing like infomercials. I was buying Carlton sheets back in the day. I don't know if you ever remember them and stuff like that. And I just started buying like different type of things about real estate, just dabbling with certain things. And I just knew like I wanted time freedom. And even though I didn't know at the time how to get it, but I just knew there was another way to still provide for family and travel and not be all in that crazy just 9 to 5 or whatever type of shift you have, and you're losing out on time and you're rushing to, like I'm very electronic saving time. Like I saw my mom, she get off of work at Thursday, she worked early in the morning like 5 o'clock and then get off at 2, and then because she's so old school, she will hurry up and grab her check and then rush back out and go cash her check right prior. And I said, I don't want to do that. So I learned real quick about direct deposit and stuff like that. So honestly, it's just because of time. I don't knock what my parents did. They definitely are retired, they're established and doing well for themselves and stuff like that. But that's just not the life I want to have and stuff like that. I always just want to be able to travel. I want to have kids down the line myself, and I want to be active in their lives. I don't want to be caught up in just oh, I gotta go clock in, or oh, I can't come to your game because I have to do this. Sometimes I do ideally know, because if I'm traveling, because I vision to be a motivational speaker and getting consultant contracts as well and stuff like that. I do know at a time that I'm ideally gonna miss some of my kids or things, but it's gonna be more in a it's going to be more in an impact way instead of just living out other people's dreams by working the clock on their clock and stuff like that. So I'd rather miss my kids event on impacting others and they understand, compared to missing my kids and I'm on a clock working on somebody else's vision. So that's my entrepreneur background.
Yo, that's amazing. That's dope. Listen, I'm super proud of you, Shay. I'm super proud of you, and I'm rooting for you all the way. So when you see me liking your stuff and sharing your stuff, just know I'm rooting for you.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it. What's the number two question? You already know. I got to see. Well, it's the second question. Like,
Number
bring it
number
on.
number two question. Number two question is what's the next move? What's the next play for Shay? What are you doing next? What's the next play? But what's the next thing that you're trying to do for real? For real?
Um, I mean, I mentioned my 5K race. Definitely doing the man in the mission. I'm doing a new thing. I'm bringing out the CEO in a mission. I'm trying to do one more 5K race with National Suicide Prevention Month, and what is it, in September. On a personal level, I'm gonna keep on doing 75 hard, but there's 3 more phases left for 75 hard. I'm starting phase 1, April 4th, and that's 30 days, and it just gets intense. It gets intense, and then I gotta just complete the other 2 by before my 1 year anniversary of starting 75 hard in January 3rd. Also, want to do this challenged with my health permitting. I got to double check with a physician if I'm capable of doing it. There's this challenge called Seal Fit. It's for 6 hours, and you basically do like a obstacle course, like a mini American Gladiator type of thing, where you train as if you're a SEAL, and that's in
Mm.
September. So that's and in my book is coming out. It's called Mental Muscle: How to Activate a Winner's Mindset, and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So it's literally in the publishing stage. I've been so busy and I haven't checked my emails yet, but I'm gonna double check and see where it stands with my publisher. And you should be seeing my book come out, so I'll be launching that. That will be my to market. Yes, I'll be needing any tips. See, I can basically be financially free and let go of my job officially, because Duncan's been telling me, like, yo, you get that book, I'm about to go explode with that book with you and Shay, because that's the ultimate. That's one of the top tools that will get you moving, get you going, and get you to really be full time with what I want to do is impact the world. So that's what I got going on and everything. And I appreciate you letting me express the world. Say suggestions is definitely. I love being blindsided, and it honestly, people are like, yo, how can you do interviews and stuff like that? I'm like, because one, I do Shay suggestions and I get blindsided all the time, and I've had some tough questions, but I've been able to, really get focused on my by just still handling diversity. And I'm still standing, I'm still going, and I'm rooting for you too, Dr. Marck, because this definitely, you definitely believed in me when I did my first summit, and you didn't even know me. Like, yo, okay, she got some spark, she got something going on, and now, like, look at 2 years now, you're like, yo, Shay is really on a mission now. And yeah, I just appreciate it and stuff like that. So with that being said, let the world know, let this podcast viewers, when they watch the replay, whenever they watch the replay, how can they get connected with you, where to follow you at. And we gotta definitely have probably a redo, from years to come, because this podcast is growing. I've surpassed 50 episodes, and before 2022 is up, it will be at that 100 mark.
Listen, I'll say this to anybody that's an entrepreneur, or anything. If you're trying to get the word out, you pull up on everybody's podcast. If anyone asks you pull up on a podcast, if anybody even if God blesses you an opportunity to get on someone's podcast, someone's YouTube channel, don't say no to anyone. That's one thing I would tell anybody. I pull up on Shay's podcast. I've never swagged up and said, "Yo, how many followers you got? How many podcasts you got?" I didn't care. You got a podcast, girl? You want me to pull up? I'm pulling up. You say less, right? And that's what it is. So you can follow me at on Instagram, Dr. period Marck underscore Abraham. That's Dr. period Marck underscore Abraham. Follow me on Facebook, Mark Abraham, YouTube, Dr. Marck Abraham, Twitter, Dr. Marck Abraham. Text me, email me, Facebook me. It don't really matter. I'm pulling up wherever you need me to pull up at. If it's Buffalo, if it's Utah, if it's Wisconsin, it don't matter. I'm pulling up. You know what that young man said? Pull up on me. I'm pulling up on you wherever you
I
at.
love it. I
So
love it. So me and Dr. Abraham gonna chat a little bit after the conclusion of this a great episode. So you guys stay tuned for what Dr. Abraham has going on. I'm appreciative again once to Dr. Marck for you basically tuning in. You definitely pulled up and made drop some gems, drop some nuggets, and I look forward to letting the world hear this podcast and get enlightened. And definitely let's stay connected, man. Real talk, cause we got more more work to impact. There's never not enough. So
Dr. Marck Abraham, #1 speaker in the world. I'm out of here, family. See you next time. Peace.
peace, y'all.